man. How are you, man? We started recording anyway, and I don't like introductions, so just there. How you been?
I'm good, brother. It's nice to meet you, and thank you for your guys' time.
Definitely, man. By the way, can I just say you've got a fantastic nickname, Kashaan the Krusher Khan. It's actually probably one of the best names, that we've ever heard in the show. How did you guys come out with that?
I was gonna say, when you find out the meaning behind it, you're not gonna think it's as cool anymore.
Yeah.
Basically, when I was obviously just starting off MMA, I really wanted a nickname. I think, which was kind of weird, but I really wanted one, and I was quite like large. I was wrestler, so I just used to pick everyone and sit on them. And so my coach says, "You just like to crush people, so let's just call you the Crusher." And that's where I got my nickname from, just for sitting on people. To be honest, it's not the most exciting way to get a nickname, but that's how I got it.
Hey, to be fair, at least someone gave you a nickname. Some people just give themselves a nickname, which is just you can't give yourself a nickname, surely, right?
I think personally, I always thought, I'm going to get rid of the nickname, but because of the history behind it, it makes sense. I'm going to keep it, so I've allowed it to stay there.
Yeah. So my name's Ashley Terrence, and I've always thought about what my nickname would be, and if I had a nickname, it would just be Ashley the Terminator Terrence. I think that's
a
awesome.
Sick nickname, the Terminator.
I know.
Is that your fighting style?
Yeah, that would be my fighting style. I'll probably get terminated though. It's the best to get into.
That's a sick nickname, to be fair. But the thing with these nicknames is there's about 100,000 other guys with the same nickname. There's not really. It's a bit hard to get a unique nickname nowadays.
Oh man, I'm just thinking maybe I'll just do MMA training. Hopefully, Misfits does a kind of an MMA division. And then I could just start fighting some cans.
Jump in and fight some bums and get paid some good money.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. Like that's what it's all about. That's what it's about. But you got a fight coming up March the 9th at Raged MMA. Great thing is I'm actually going to be there as well in person, which is fantastic. But pro debut. What's your thoughts, man? How do you feel about everything?
I can't wait. Actually, it's been almost March 9th. It'll be just under a year that I've been in the cage. And for me, someone who was quite active as an amateur, that years felt like years and years and years. It feels like a long time, but it was necessary. I had to go away and chip away at some. You got elbows, you got knees to the head now. You've got these new subs, and I thought, I'm not gonna learn how to throw these things or learn about these things so that I can have them thrown at me. I need to throw them. So I wanted to drill and get sharp and really pick up some new skills in this time that I've been off. And then come back and people will say, who is this guy? That's what I want. I want it to be that people say, this guy is completely different to the guy we even saw at amateur. So I've been chipping away and hiding in a little cave, just getting the work in. And now, finally, we're almost just under about a week and a bit away now. And I can't wait till Saturday.
So we should be seeing a kind of a flying knee, elbow, and knee bar combination because you could do everything now, isn't it?
You're just going to see spinning everything, and then I'm going to get knackered and just take him down. Nah, it's going to be... I'm looking forward to the 5-minute rounds, and there's so many different things that allow you to take your time a bit and go in there, be a bit more composed. Better than the amateur, where I feel like the pace is really, really high.
Yeah, definitely. And, I've been kind of following your amateur career just over the last few days, properly looking into it, and I was like, damn, man, this guy is an absolute monster. He's had championship level amateur fights, 5 rounders in fact as well, and these are things that some pros don't even get that until maybe 4 or 5 fights in, if any. How confident do you feel in terms of your cardio output?
I mean, actually the thing is, with my last 6 fights have all been 5 rounders, so and to be honest with you, all of throughout those camps, I was preparing just to be the best version of myself. I never think about the time. I think this is some misconception between a lot of guys is, it's 3 minutes, 5 3-minute rounds. I've got to do 5-minute rounds or whatever. For me, it doesn't matter about the time, because I'm going to go in there and I'm going to still put the same output, the same work rate, everything. I've just got to go in there and survive at the end of the day and try and beat this guy. So for me, with the experience that I have, I feel like I have a wealth of experience being in there for so many 5-rounders, as I did. Early on in the amateur career, I got like my first 3 fights were finishes, and then my coach said to me, we should get some ring time now. Hopefully we get some ring time. I think all I got from there was ring time, because I never got a finish after that. It was just like fight after fight after fight. They're chucking these solid guys at me. I'm spending 3 rounds, 5 rounds with these killers, and it really taught me a lot about myself as well. And so now going into this pro game, I feel like I've faced everything there is to face. I've had the strong guys, the fast guys, the hard hitter, the guy that's got bricks in his hands, the guy that's really quick, and the subbing machine. All these styles, I feel like I've faced them already. So I feel like I'm ready to take on anything.
It's almost like you've gone through the GSP route, isn't it? You know, GSP used to fight killer after killer, and everyone had a different style back then. I feel like MMA was so much less well-rounded back then, and I think it was more exciting. You had more specialists.
Yeah.
Did you almost feel like you kind of gone through that route, like just the GSP route, just fighting killers after killers?
I think 100%. I never said no to a fight. That's one thing I can say proudly. Is that I never ever said no to a fight in amateur, and sometimes that bit me in my backside, and sometimes it did well for me. But the one thing I can say is that I fought the top of the lot at the amateurs, and so even I was going to continue maybe 1 or 2 more amateurs, and my coach said, "Look, you fought all the guys at amateurs. It's time to go and take the skills to the pro game now." So looking forward to it.
Is there a lot of pressure? Because I know you're the first pro coming out of your gym as well. Is that a lot of pressure? How do you feel generally?
I mean, so it's very exciting for me. I think I was the first amateur at my gym as well, so it's like,
oh wow,
yeah. So our gym is a relative Blackbeard MMA is a relatively young babyish club. I say that's 7 years in the game, but competitors wise, I was 5 months in MMA when I started to compete. So I just had that desire, and even now that desire is still there. I didn't think I'd make it even in the amateurs, to be honest. I didn't think I was even gonna do too great, but
really,
why? Because I just started, and it was more of like a hobby. Like I was doing it to stay fit, healthy, and then obviously, I wanted to. I was very competitive, so I thought, you know what, let me try and take this as far as I can. Got to the amateurs, and it was like, you know what, maybe I can have a go at pro. And now I'm at the pro. It's like I want to prove that to myself. So I look back in another 5-6 years when the pro career is flourishing, then I'll be like, you know what, I took it to that level, and I did what I could. So I'm really excited to show the young bucks that are coming out of our amateur gym now, and at the amateurs that you can make it from whatever gym. And you got guys in the obviously Leon Edwards and the Conor McGregors and these guys who showed that you don't need to be running off to this country and that country to make it. It's always about the individual, I think, and I think nowadays the sport is a lot about this gym and that gym, and it's not that. It's never that.
It's actually, I actually think, and again, I'm not a fighter, so I'm just assuming things here, but just covering the sport for so many years now, I think it's almost the relationship that you've got with your head coach and your coach. If that personal relationship, no other coach that's going to know you better than your head coach.
Exactly.
So just for that reason alone, like, you've got that strong relationship, and he knows you and how to train you the best.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it? Is that something you agree with?
100% agree with you. Our coach, Coach Naman, is like a father figure to all of us. He's an amazing guy, and he, more than anything, I need him there because he just calms me down, he keeps me relaxed. He'll tell me, look, it doesn't really matter. No one really cares. No one's gonna care about what happens after a day or two. So just go in there and enjoy yourself, and leave it in the hands of God. And so that for me, it's like when I get told that, it's like, okay, I can go there, and whatever happens now, I'm ready. Like whether I win or lose. And the one fight he wasn't in my corner, I lost. So now I emotionally blackmail him all the time and get him to come to the fights. So it's good. We've got a really good relationship, man. It's for me and for all the guys in the gym. Having him there is that bit of extra morale boost.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But there's something I actually wanted to ask you off the back of that. Yeah. So your gym's called Blackbeard MMA. And there's actually, I was just wondering, so there's actually a renowned pirate. His nickname was derived from the fact that he had a thick black beard and a very fearsome appearance. Is that the kind of influence or the reason for the gym's name?
It's actually not, but yeah, I know about Blackbeard. It's people actually always assume it is because of the pirate. But it's because my coach has a big black beard, or to a certain extent, and he was not present at a meeting or something. And his friend said, "Where's Blackbeard?" And he kind of liked the name, so.
I see. So he's called Blackbeard.
So he's Mr. Blackbeard, yeah. So we're all just the young Blackbeards that are coming in and representing. But it's quite a cool name. But yeah, I mean, it's cool because either way, the Pirates was kind of intimidating as well. So it works for us.
Yeah, man, 100%. So you've actually got a few people that we follow, or we've had a few people on our show that follow you as well. And I was like, damn, man, this kid's got some big traction already. So you've got Anthony Pettis following you, Charles Johnson, Yvan. That makes sense because you guys are going to be fighting on the same card. But yeah, tell me the story of Anthony Pettis following you.
So I'm actually signed to Anthony Pettis' management company, Showtime.
Yeah.
So I'm signed to those guys. So Lewis, who obviously gets fighters in for the UK from them guys, he was responsible, and he said, look, I've shown Anthony, and he thinks it'd be great to have you on. And for me, it was humbling. It's magical because I follow Anthony Pettis like throughout obviously for years now. So to have that, and then to have it, obviously when someone follows you, for me, it's like it shows that you've come to a certain point now, and now you have to. You bump heads of shoulders with those guys. You have to live up to your expectations almost as well. But it's exciting because it's what we do at the end of the day, isn't it? It's just like when it's show time, like it says, it's time to show your skill and show these guys that you belong at the top of the level.
Yeah, and he's an elite level businessman. He's very sharp, clever. In an interview that we had with me and Tim, I think he was the sharpest guest that we've ever had. He's so switched on, and there's no kind of pauses. Like he's just go. Like he knows what he's gonna say, and he just says it extremely kind of articulately. Have you ever had conversations with him directly, or is it just more through his management at the moment?
At the moment, no, it's just been through Lewis and stuff. But he did say that you're gonna speak to him soon. He speaks to everyone before they fight, etc. I've heard that he's really like
no way.
Yeah, he's a very. I mean, as far as I know, with the management stuff, he's not that guy that just the top guy who sets guys there and then he just has nothing to do with them. He himself is very involved, which is why I respect him a lot. And obviously with the schedule he has, also you can respect that. We know that it would be hard for him to make that time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But yeah, there's another question that I kind of asked you to ask. I'm like, Jimmy Manoa was coming on. You might not know him because you're quite young, and a lot of young MMA fans like who's Jimmy Manoa. So that just kind of brings me to the next question. How long have you been following MMA? Because seems like you're an old school fan, no?
MMA, it's funny actually. My uncles used to always watch it, so they'd be watching it, and I used to think, like, what the hell is this sport? Like, I remember, because my family would be like, this is horrible. Like, it would just be they'd be watching the Ken Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos. Like,
oh my god, that's the worst fight to show them, man. Why would you show them?
I'm telling you, so like. And then you can imagine, like, my family that's watching it, and they're like, this disgusting sport. These are animals. And the next thing you know, their grandson, their nephew's turning out and doing the same thing. And they're like, even to this day, they still say to me, you know what? You should retire after about a couple of months. I always tell them, give me another couple of months and I'll retire.
That is crazy, man.
But
I was going to say, how is, because, we're both clearly South Asian here. How is it kind of breaking into, because even to this day, I'm telling my parents, like, like the podcast is doing well, like blah, blah, blah. I think we're going to blow up this year. We've had Francis Ngannou on. And I'm like, okay, cool. No, they're just like, yeah, cool.
They don't, honestly, I'm telling you that you could have the Khabib on and they'll still be like, it doesn't really matter. They don't really
Where's the money at?
Yeah, because that's what it is, isn't it? It's like university, you get the degree, you get if you bring in the money, they're loving it. They can tell everyone about you, but they can't really tell everyone. My son's getting punched in the face for a living, or it's not really the best thing to tell people, I think.
Oh man, how long did it take for you to convince them?
So, to be honest with you, actually, my mom was the one encouraging me to do it. My mom is the one encouraging me. Yeah, because I was like I said, I was fat and lazy, so she was like, you should go out and do something. So she got me on it, and but she didn't think I was going to compete. So obviously, when we got to competition, I did my first one. She's like, yeah, that's fine now. Like, go back to doing the wrestling that you're doing. Because I used to do freestyle wrestling first. So she was like, just go back to that. It's good. I'm glad you won, and let's call it there. But then I got the bug. When you got the bug, then it's like game over. So I started competing more. And then I think because I was winning, she was like, okay, you know what, I'll support this guy. But it was the losses where it was a bit harder for her. Yeah, because she, my first loss was when I was 4-0. So it was like, I had a good nice record built. I lost that, and it was quite hard for me as well. And for your family, I think they're the ones who see the worst part of the losses. People don't really see that.
After as well, when you're a bit more emotional and you're probably,
Definitely.
That's your private time, but that's going to be when you're at your worst, isn't it?
Exactly, and they see that they see you at your most vulnerable. So they didn't realize, but then it kind of gave, especially my mom, she was like to me, now you've come this far, this loss, now you can't leave on a loss, you have to go now and take it to a different level. And so now for me, from there to like now, that was my first 5 fights. Then it was like 12 amateurs, and now here I am making my.
Hey, shout out Mumsy, man. Shout
out
Mumsy.
to my mum, man. What a legend.
That's
Our mums are honestly, as much as they complain to us and they do screw at us, their love for us is something that is we can't even speak about, because we can't fathom it.
Yeah, no, that's impressive, man. Like, to have that family support, that's amazing. I spoke to somebody else about this as well. I can't remember his name, completely forgot. But he mentioned, even to this day, he still gets that. He's he still gets like, so this is great that you're doing this and that, but like, when are you retiring, man?
Philip, it's retire. It's like, when are you getting married? When are you retiring? When are you gonna settle down? These questions, like, just standard. You have a set answer to those questions. Once you've got your set answer to the questions, you're good to go. But for me, it's like in one ear and out the other, because I'm too addicted to it to think about retiring right now.
Yeah, definitely. Who would you say is your favorite fighter of all time?
My favorite fighter of all time. That's a very, very good question. I'd say Michael Bisping is probably
I wasn't expecting that.
Favorite fighter of all time. I know most people, when they ask me that question, they think that's a bit of a weird one. I really like Michael Bisping. I think he was a slick striker. He had that a little like bad boy attitude as well. He had the dog in him. He won a title like in his retirement years. So just his work ethic, I think, and his cardio and him in general, I love his attitude towards MMA. And even now when he does his breakdowns and stuff like that, I really enjoy listening to him. And when he speaks about MMA in general, I think for me it's the most interesting. But I'm not really like a casual. I'm not gonna go and say the standards.
Yeah, for him, it's kind of weird, with Michael Bisping, because I don't know if you remember this, years ago, he was like a heel, man. No one really liked him. Like, genuinely, no one fucking liked him. And even, who was it, against Jason Mayhem Miller, I think there was a tough season, and he was just such a, like, literally came across so douchey in that whole Ultimate Fire. But I think it was part of his persona, and then over the years, he's just completely switched it around, which is insane.
That's what made him. I think you got the Chael Sonnens and you got these guys. If they weren't the way they were, they wouldn't have sold as much tickets or had as much people follow them. Even now, you look at their podcasts and their videos and stuff. You need a little bit of that now. Just even with MMA, these guys are always forcing these acts to be a certain way to get people more eyes on them. But it does work to a certain extent as well, I'd say.
What's your thoughts of prime Conor McGregor in his prime, as in terms of the trash talk and everything?
Prime Conor McGregor is what got me into MMA, like to wanting to compete to a certain extent. So I can't talk rubbish. My first fight, I did his walk after I won. So like, it was the money walk. I was like, flip. I don't show any of my friends that now, because they're all Khabib fans, and we're all like Khabib fans. So like, if I show them that, I think they'll disown me. So, but Conor in his prime, you can't. There's nothing wrong you can say about the guy. He believed himself more than anyone else did. He had work ethic, and he was to me at that time, he was unbeatable. I don't think anyone was going to beat him the way he was then.
Yeah, definitely not, man. He was just the ultimate kind of, Honestly, I don't think there's ever going to be a bigger superstar in MMA ever. No?
I don't think so. No way.
No, definitely not, man. Definitely not. But yeah, look, final question for you. Kashaan, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
5 years' time, I see myself at the top of the game, fighting, hopefully abroad somewhere nice and sunny, making some good money. Hopefully, we'll all be sitting on the top of the Bellagio somewhere, having dinner, doing the podcast there, or something like that.
I'll be there post-fight, man. I'll be interviewing.
That's it. We'll get you there, and we'll do it. We'll make it to the top. But my aim is, and this is what I always say to myself, is to be content that I left myself and left a bit of myself in the sport. That's what I want, really. I don't. we don't know where we're going to be, whether we're going to be here tomorrow, when we're going to be. But for me, the main thing is that when people will look at my fights and they'll see this guy came out, he was exciting. Yeah, he left it all out there and he gave us a bit of himself. That's all I want.
Yeah, 100%, man. But yeah, make sure you guys check it out. Raged MMA next week, March the 9th. I'll be there live in person, and I will be interviewing, kind of a lot of you fighters in person. But yeah, look, final word goes to you, Kashaan. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Awesome guest. But yeah, it's your spotlight, man. Just plug anything you need to plug.
Thank you. First, thank you, Ashley, and you guys for having me on. Really appreciate it, enjoying it. I think it's the most enjoyable one I've been on yet so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys.
It is the most. Yeah,
it is the most. It is the most. That's it. No, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week as well, and I just want to say shout out to all the brothers at Blackbeard MMA, my team, all my sponsors and the brothers who are sponsoring me. I want to say thank you to everyone. Like I always say, who even if they gave me a word of advice or that word that pushed me, I want to say thank you to them. But there's so many people to thank. So for me, the main thing is that so long as you've even contributed a percentage to my camp or in my life in general, thank you to everybody.
Love it, man. Thank you so much, Kashaan, man.
You're the man, Ashley. Thank you, bro.